put up an argument or anything. It came down to learning how to shoot the rifle. Something was wrong with the rifle. I brought it in to get it fixed. And after that, I was shooting bullseye after bullseye on the target. Whether that was done purposely or not, I don't really know. It could have been. Just to see how I'd handle it, the situation, malfunctioning rifle. But then it came down to things started to go downhill with the basic training when we reached the third phase. Me weighing only 120 pounds, trying to carry around a 60-pound pack. My body just simply could not handle it. So, it came down to one morning, I was about ready to pass out. And I had to stop, and everybody else moved on. I was left behind, and it was still dark. Nobody noticed. So I was hoping that nobody would realize I was missing, but they did. They came back looking for me, found me. Senior drill instructor with the pack on told me to put my pack on when I got there with everybody else. Then he threw me to the ground with my pack on. Thankfully, the pack cushioned my fall to the ground on my back. I was cushioned by the pack, so I wasn't hurt. I got back up. But they did not punish me for that in the end. He only told me I would have been taken prisoner and shot if it was a real war. Maybe I would have been, but that pack, admittingly, was just too much. That much weight in it was too much for me to carry. With my size and everything. And my body said, that's it, we're not going any further with it. I did make it through that third phase, and made it even beyond that. And the only thing that, well, what happened was I was almost going to get put out 2 weeks graduation because I went in sick. They had an obstacle course run. Wasn't feeling well, so I went in sick to get out of having to do it. And after that, that was it. I was called in. They were going to get rid of me at that point. I only had 2 more weeks to go for graduation. They said, that's it, we're done with you. So I said, okay, well, maybe it's just not meant to be that I'm going to be in the military. Let's go home and figure out something else to do with myself. And that was my reaction. So I went on up the chain of command, everybody approved, until I got up to the final lieutenant colonel, called me in. He said, we're not going to get rid of you. He said, you got too much potential. Your scores were too high. We're not going to get rid of you so easily. We're just going to put you back in training to another platoon and send you back a few weeks. Because we want to keep you. So I acquiesced to that. And I made it. I did not have to go back through that phase of training that I had difficulty with. They set me back to a platoon that had just gotten out of that phase training. So I made it through the remainder of the training, made it through final inspection. And on the very day before graduation, they were going to take the platoon picture. They told me, you're not going to be in the picture, you're going to stand watch in the barracks. I was wondering, are they going to get rid of me now with 1 day to go till graduation? Or are they really going to get rid of me now? So the senior drill instructor, not the senior drill instructor, the company gunnery sergeant walked in, and I didn't know who it was. I was standing watch, like I was told, and I called out to him, "Private," and he was the company gunnery sergeant. He just started screaming at me, how dare I call him private. Everything, and he walked on, and then it turned out who walked in. It was the lieutenant colonel walked in. This is the lieutenant colonel of the whole unit, and asked me if I still wanted to go through with this. 1 day till graduation. I could have said no. So I told him yes. And it turned out I graduated the basic training the following day. What an elevator story that was. That's not the end. They sent me to Memphis, Tennessee, where I did not end up getting the meteorology or the aircraft control. Those are my first two picks. They did not give either one of them to me. Instead, they sent me to electronics training for avionics. So they sent me to Memphis, Tennessee, to the naval station there for this training. So I went on to Memphis, and basic electricity and electronics was a self-paced course where you go on a computer and you do it yourself. Amazingly, it was a do-it-yourself course where you read on your own. There was no teacher. You just went into a computer and did the course yourself at your own pace. So in that kind of environment, being the kind of person I am, I excelled in that course so much that they sent me to a more advanced school in Denver, Colorado, at Lowry Air Force Base. 3 months later, so I've spent 3 months in Memphis. They sent me to a more challenging school, more in depth. So I ended up November of 1981 in Denver, Colorado, a city I've never been to. I've never been out west. First time I ever was out west. Flew into the old Denver Stapleton Airport. It's no longer in existence now. They still have the control tower there, but now it's just, they've built townhouses up where the runway is to this airport. Grabbed a taxi and got to the base, checked in. To my dismay, I found out that I was going to be put in the third shift class. They had classes running 24 hours a day. And they put me on the third shift class. So I had to stay up in this classroom. It was not a self-paced like the other one was, where I excelled. This was a teacher. You had to sit in the class in the wee hours of the morning. I just could not handle it. I ended up failing the class. So what happened was in March of 1982, he gave me the choice, either you can carry a gun or be a cook. I told him I'd rather be a cook. So I got sent to Camp Pendleton, California in April of 1982. I remember I had no clue on how to get to Camp Pendleton. I'd never been to California. Never been to the West Coast. I was only 19 years old. I stepped off the plane in LAX. I had no clue on how to get to Camp Pendleton. Finally, I figured it out. I had to get on I got there around 8, 9 o'clock at night. Finally, I figured out that I had to go to downtown Los Angeles, catch a bus, and then get another bus from there down to Oceanside, California, to get to Camp Pendleton, and then get on a bus there that would take me on base. So I had to figure all that out at 19 years old. Finally arrived in Oceanside. It was like 4 a.m. The buses didn't start running yet to get me on the base, so I had to wait outside in the street at 4:30 a.m. I did not got any sleep. I slept a little bit, I think, on the bus. I've never been to California, never been. I figured out how to get to Oceanside. Finally, the buses started running around 5:30 a.m. I got the first bus on to Camp Pendleton. I had to figure out where on the base to go check in. It's a huge base. So I asked around a little bit, found out where to go, where to get off to check in at on base. And it was a rainstorm that day. It was The rain had started right after I got on the bus, and it was just pouring rain, cold that morning. It was in April. And then this is the storm later that dumped snow in New York in April 1982. It hit California first. So I managed to get checked in on the base. Sent me over where I was going to be trained as a cook. But it ended up being a cook initially was easier than I thought it was going to be. Once I got trained and got put into my unit, the schedule was, we had 2 3.5 day weekends off. I'd work every third weekend, but the other 2 weekends we had 3.5 consecutive days off. Plus some time off in the middle of the week. We had to go in one day, do a whole shift, lunch and dinner, and then the next morning go in really early for breakfast, and be off the rest of that day. Then we'd be off the whole following day as well, even during the week. So it was very easy. So I began to explore California on this easy schedule. Afforded me lots of opportunities to explore. Never been to California. This was like opening up a whole new present for me. It was so different there than the East Coast. So in May of 1982, I bought a little Matchbox Fiat car. How that happened was I was waiting for the bus to get me back on base. And this guy just pulled up to me and asked me if I wanted to ride onto the base. And, oh yeah, I'll take a ride. He said he was getting ready to go overseas and needed to sell his car, but I'd be interested. I'm selling it for $1,300. It's 1976 Fiat. The car at the time was 6 years old. So I said, yes, I'm interested. I bought it from him. So I had a little car. I drove that car up to Big Sur the second week I had it. I was amazed at Big Sur. I was just in awe of the place. 19 years old. Drove it all the way up to Monterey from San Diego. It was a stick shift, so I had to learn how to drive it on my own. Through trial and error, I learned in Los Angeles how to drive that car, and I learned quick. I took California Route 1 all the way up to Monterey, through Big Sur. I took it out into the desert several times on my weekends off. And finally, one day, I was driving it out up over east of San Diego. I wanted to go into Anza Borrego, east of there. And the car broke down on me. I kind of think it had an oil leak and it ran out of oil. And I didn't know enough to check it. The engine started smoking and the car quit. Just as I was going over the pass to get down into the desert. So I coasted the car down all the way down to the bottom. There was an exit. I was able to get the car off. And now the big question was, how was I going to get back with a broken down car? 100 miles almost east of San Diego, or 70, 80 miles away. How was I going to get back? Now that the car was broken down, I had never actually re-registered the car at that point yet. It was still had the plates from the other owner on it. So I left it there, thumbed the ride back to San Diego. And somebody did pick me up. He brought me all the way back. So that's just one part of the story of my exploration of California at 19 years of age that began. Even after the car broke down, I never saw the car again. I just left it there and never went back for it. I would get around by public transit after that. I never bought another car after that. At least not while I was in the military. So I continued my exploration. I walked probably almost every mile of beach there was between San Diego and Los Angeles or Long Beach. I walked every bit of beach, including the 17 miles between Camp Pendleton, along Camp Pendleton shoreline. It was a beautiful, unspoiled stretch of beach. I spent a number of nights out on that beach, camped, just in my sleeping bag. I would sleep out there on the beach. In June of 1982, I took a walking trip from Oceanside to Long Beach, California, and followed the beach all the way, 3 days. 4th of July weekend, I think it was. I remember they were celebrating. I camped out on the beach the first 2 nights. Third night, I couldn't stay out. They wouldn't allow me. They kept kicking me off the beach, saying it was closed. So I had to walk all night long. Well, I walked all the way to Long Beach. It was already light out. It was already morning by the time I got there. That was quite an experience. So yes, even back then, I took opportunities to explore this earth wherever I happened to be. And enjoyed myself in the process, even though I was alone. I wasn't in any relationship at that point in my life. Matter of fact, I spent more time alone than with anybody else at that point in my life. I would not hang out on the base. I would always leave when I was off and go elsewhere. Then came the 6-month deployment to Okinawa, Japan in 1983. That I will go into in a subsequent video of my experiences there. I'm bringing out these points because this leads me up to what I want to do, thinking about doing next year perhaps. I am thinking about doing a long distance hike next fall as a celebration for no longer having to pay child support. I'm going to do something wonderful for myself. As I've spent 22 years of my life paying support on kids, when that's finally behind me, it would be a cause for celebration. So what do I have in mind? I touched on it in my videos, a couple of videos back, where I ended it with saying I was thinking about doing the Oregon Coastal Trail next fall, perhaps. It goes along the coast of Oregon. I first discovered this trail on one of my cross-country trips in 2008 when I was driving up along the Oregon coast up 101. I got out, looked around, and I noticed there was a trail. I go, wow, there's a trail here. I wonder where it goes. And the sign said it was the Oregon Coastal Trail. It goes all the way up the coast of Oregon, from one end of the coast to the other, north-south. So I said to myself, well, I would love to hike this trail someday. My plan is that perhaps next fall, perhaps I'm thinking about doing that trail from one end to the other. I have never done a long distance hike of that magnitude before, and I want to start out with something that's not going to be too difficult. And then if that goes well, then I'm going to graduate myself to something more substantial. Perhaps the following year or over the summer, or maybe the year after, I'm not sure yet. As I touched on in a past video, my goal is to retire early and use my life to do some enjoyable things that are challenging, but they're enjoyable as well. I'm not just going to sit in a rocking chair if I do retire early. It's not going to be that. I'm going to use that time to do the things that I've wanted to do all my life, just haven't had a chance because of having to work, having to earn money. So this is my discussion on the Marine Corps, on my experiences in the first year of being in it, what got me through the basic training portion of it, how I used the circumstances to my advantage to explore the area I was based in, despite me being in the military, I did enjoy a little bit of a measure of freedom in the sense that I had a lot of time off, much more than I ever imagined I would have. And I used that time to explore, to enjoy the area, get to know it. I did not use it to go out and get drunk. I did not use it for drugs. I did not use it. I used it for a constructive reason, and I was only 19 years old. Could have very easily just spent my paycheck on alcohol. A lot of other people. So I'm now at exit 128 on I-35 South. I will be coming into Des Moines probably in about 45 minutes or so. Skies are getting overcast now as I continue to close in on this front to my south. Little Walls Lake Park is off this exit here. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to hold on to this video here. I had problems earlier, but now it seems like this video is still going after 33 minutes. We have 15 more miles to Ames, Iowa. I don't know if I'll be able to keep us going to Ames. I'll try. Looks like I just lost the visual. I speed here.